Yeah, so you were saying about, sorry, about your
Yeah.
daughter. I think it's so beautiful, by the way, to give them that, like we were saying about before, it doesn't have to be like evil or neutral. It can be positive. Like, just like I interviewed body image with Bree,
Mhm.
and I don't know if you know her on Instagram, but she was saying like we could teach our kids. Yeah, we could teach our kids like fruits have all different colors and all different shapes and all different sizes, and like so do people, and like just
Mhm.
it's really important that we like neutralize like and make things positive for our kids and for ourselves also.
Yeah, I want her to see that I'm a flawed human being, but I also, it helps me grow to realize like what messages do I want her to have. I don't want her to be obsessed with her the way she looks. I try to keep things like as chill as possible. I don't want to, we, by the way, I said like, I wasn't going to yell at her like we don't talk about bodies like that. Happens to be like, as an outspoken 3.5-year-old, she does make comments like that man looks funny.
Right,
She saw something with like a severe cross eye.
right,
So she does know, like I'll remind her quietly, like, we really don't talk about other people's bodies out loud. If you have something to say that's interesting to you, you could whisper it to mommy. We don't want anyone to ever feel bad. It might embarrass them if you're talking about the way they look. They might not want you to talk about that. So she understands that. But in terms of the way she like, mushes into me and says like, "Oh, your tummy is a pillow to me," like I'm so happy that she feels comfortable with my body, and I want her to see that like I love myself and I love my body too. And sometimes I'm pushing myself to say that, and I'm like not
right,
feeling the love.
right.
But what do I want her to, it's all about what do I want her to think, and what do I want her to grow up with the messages with. What messages do I want her to grow up with?
Right. Of course, you're not going to have every day you're going to feel beautiful and
Mhm.
amazing and perfect in your body, but like,
No.
that's like I think, sorry, I'm quoting Brie a lot, but she said like just like with our husbands or like any relationship, like we don't always have perfect days. It's the same thing with our body, and our body is the relationship we have for our whole lives, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and sometimes she'll be there when I'm getting dressed and I'm getting frustrated, nothing fits the way it used to, or, just yesterday that fit fine and today, like, I can say like, oh, feeling frustrated that things aren't fitting the way I like. I'm gonna try to calm myself down and find something that fits today.
right. I love that.
You know?
I love it because most of
Yeah.
my clients tell me like, but what about nothing fitting me? I'm like, that's really, really hard, and I totally, totally get it. But like, that doesn't mean something's wrong with your body. That's
Yeah.
not what it means, you know?
Yeah. And we get those messages gone.
Yes, 100%.
Like, all that self-talk that, it's it came from somewhere else, now it's coming from us. And
Right.
same thing with like, would you let someone like a lot I've been thinking about this week is just like how we respect ourselves. Like, would you let someone disrespect you like that? Would you feel good if someone said to you like, "You look so bad in this," like, "Oh, you should have never bought that." Like,
Right.
wouldn't you feel better if someone said like, "Oh, this doesn't fit right now. Let's fold it up nicely and put it to the side and try something that fits you so that you could just get through the day, feeling respectable." But speak to yourself in such a negative, like, berating way, like, we need to show ourselves respect to feel respected.
Right. It's true. I always say that like the only thing I don't let on your plate is like shame and guilt.
I love when you say that. Yes.
Yeah, and I think I spoke about this with a client yesterday. I'm like, you see how much more toxic the negative self-talk is than the sugar? Like maybe you want to pick something else to eat, but like if it comes with guilt and shame, like that's even worse for you. Like, and we know that. We just see like if the way that we talk to ourselves and the toxic negative self-talk, it's like it literally, and I wonder if you could just tell everyone maybe like I don't know how much you know about this, but like I know that like we store negativity in our body. Like I know that like if we're speaking to ourselves 90% of the day negatively, that's being stored.
There, it's all there. One thing that they love to say in school is the issue is in the tissue, the muscle tissue.
Right, right,
I definitely have had clients, not all the time. Um, People tend to be a little bit more private, which is totally fine. But I have had clients that have said like, "Ooh, I'm actually about to cry."
mm-hmm,
Uh, One of my first clients was going through a family crisis, and I offered her a massage. It was before I finished school, but I knew this was like a way that I could help her just really like feel good and kind of like zone out and take care of herself, for that moment. And she was bawling, and I asked her if she wanted me to stop, and At first I gave her some space and I said, do you want me to continue? Do you want me to stop? And she was like, no, you can continue. And I just continued gently, just taking care of her. And she was like, wow, that was so therapeutic. It didn't change the fact that there was an actual crisis going on,
Right.
but she was able to get in touch with those feelings and really just finally face them. And, I think it in that safe, non-judgmental environment. But yeah, I think that a lot of people think that by ignoring issues, I mean, much less so nowadays. I feel like there's so much information out there that people are reading, but people think that sometimes if I ignore the problem, it'll go away, but it goes somewhere.
Yeah.
And it, in my clients, it's here,
Mm-hmm.
there, lower back,
Right.
And that's why I think people walk out feeling like a different person. There's like issues addressed,
Yeah.
and they get, we do a lot of deep breathing work. I like to let people like really breathe it out, and there's an acupressure point in Chinese medicine right over here. That's like kind of the seat of a lot of emotions. And towards the end of the massage, I'll put my finger here and here, and we'll breathe in and we'll breathe out. And like, they're like, whoa, I just felt a real release. Like, yeah, we do store a lot of our pain in our body for sure.
Do you know about like EFT tapping?
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so like sometimes I'll teach a client that, or I'll do it on myself, and it's like really interesting how we store so much emotion in like our bodies, and just learning to letting ourselves feel the emotion, and like learning how to process it is so important. Otherwise, our bodies are just holding it.
Yeah, so many of my clients, I realized like, after working, throughout the year, like, wow, everyone's got TMJ, everyone's clenching. I mean, especially this year, we're all going through like weird life. The world's on fire. You're tense, you're just gonna clench your jaw, you're stressed out. People tell me, they're like, I don't even realize it half the time. It's like during the day, I'm like, wow, I got this headache. Oh, it's coming from right over here.
Yeah.
It's not always, we have to be aware that we're stressed first. Daniel Tiger has some excellent breathing techniques that, I've learned with my daughter. But no, really, breathing techniques, first being aware that you're stressed, sometimes even 5 minutes of breathing. I tell people, like, it's not only massage, it's any sort of like pause that you can give yourself.
Yeah, totally. I think that's amazing. Like, I haven't been doing it in a while, but for a while I was like meditating for 10 minutes a day, and I really did. I was actually doing Tippy Gross's, I can link that also here. She had like a meditation, a money meditation during the when Corona just started, and it was a 40-day thing, and I did it. I think I skipped like 1 or 2 days, but I caught it up, and it was like for 40 days for Pesach, and it was like I set an alarm on my phone or whatever,
I feel like I couldn't do 10 minutes.
But I repeated like every day was a different thought.
It's like a mantra and
it was a little hard, I'm not gonna lie, but like I got like really attached to it. I wish I was still doing it, but yeah, like I was just thinking about that today. Like if I tell my clients all the time, like set alarms. I'm very into alarms, and like just to help you remember, because it's not to beat yourself up that you're not doing it, but just to help you have some sort of a system to remember to take care of yourself, because we all forget.
Yeah, 100%. Which is why I think if not massage, then, like you were telling me earlier, a date with a friend.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. A walk. Set an alarm in your calendar. If you don't have a calendar in your phone, get one. The Google Calendar is excellent. I love my Google Calendar. But set an alarm for something that you want to do, a form of self-care that you like. Same thing with like you said, you come back from seminary and you feel like you have to be everyone's doormat. Find a way to give that is enjoyable to you. Not everyone's going to want to go to the nursing home.
Right.
What about watching someone's kids? What about shopping for someone?
Right.
What about tzedakah? What about raising money? There's a million things to do, and it's not always the one,
Right.
You don't have to like work at Camp Simcha to be an amazing person. You could be an amazing person working for money for like $0.1 at a day camp, Like there's so many different ways to give, and there's so many different ways to take care of yourself in ways that speak to you.
Right. I was actually going to say before that, like, I don't really like getting a massage. Like I don't really like it, and love
Oh,
language, quality time is my love language. So like when I figured that out, I was like, oh, going out with a friend, going out about myself, like whatever. But I do tell people about the love languages, and if their love
mhm,
language is physical touch, massage is like amazing for that.
mhm. Or also, if physical touch is your love language, yoga is also excellent
Right,
because you're giving yourself that physical movement. You could
right,
really feel there's a really good muscle stretching, and it's in a loving, gentle way. And for some people, maybe like pushing themselves more with like more cardio or Pilates type of exercise is good too. But I think aside from massage for physical touch, I think yoga is excellent.
I heard swimming is also for physical touch.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. Thank you for that.
So let's end here, but I just wanted you to, if you could end and give like the listeners one tip or two tips that they could do by themselves. You said breathing. What
Mhm.
about maybe the pressure points, or is there anything you tell your clients to do at home, like on a daily or weekly basis?
So, one thing that I always mention is that just something that people might not know about massage or muscles in general is that muscles become more pliable. This is like a very technical idea. Muscles become more pliable with moist heat.
Okay.
So sometimes I can create heat with certain techniques and that will help them, release before I do like deeper work. But for yourself, when you're home, you take a shower every day anyway. While you're in the shower, take advantage of that moisture, take advantage of that heat, and that's what you could use to stretch and really give yourself like a lot of comfort in your shoulders and neck. I tell people who have sinus issues, this is also a big one. If anyone's watching, you
Yeah.
have to do stretches with your neck. I'll show you right now. These stretches are excellent, and they
Fine.
always want for sinuses. There's a nerve back here that when it's compressed by the neck muscles from being too tight, it can cause a lot of
Wow.
issues with your sinuses.
So
So who knew, right?
so interesting.
Um, yeah. So that's something that like is just so easy to recommend to my clients. I'm like, you're welcome to come here, but
Right.
for in between, or if you want to give up coming altogether, um, you could really take care of yourself in many ways. Although massage is beautiful and
Right.
helpful as well.
Right. I'm actually going to try that and tell clients that. It's a really good tip about when you're in the shower, like utilizing the heat anyways.
Yeah. Also, for people that have a hard time like making time for things, I say to them, "You're in the shower anyway."
Right. Right.
Also, like count to 30. It
Right.
doesn't need to be like
Right.
overwhelming amount of time. Like count to 30, count to 60. It shouldn't take so long. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing is so important. Um, what else do I recommend? That's really like the biggest recommendation. Depending on the muscle group that needs attention, I'll show them stretches that they can do on their own. Because also, like, at the end of the day, I'm here to help. So if I can empower them to take care of themselves, I'm super happy to do that.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, and really, like, if anyone, very often, like, people will talk to me about what's going on, why they're stressed, why they're tense.
Right.
Sometimes we'll talk through. It's always so different, though. Different things to do to take care of themselves, or sometimes I'm just a listening ear.
Yeah. Definitely. That's such a big one.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
part of being.
Okay. So where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at Massage by Shani. I also have a Massage by Shani Facebook page. And you could link my phone number as well. If
Okay.
anyone has any questions, not even to book, if anyone just has any questions.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to link that all in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us. It was so great.
Thank you so much. I love talking to you.
You too. It was so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Bye.